Every one of those cars left the assembly line with the bolt hole utilized in the original stock position, not the forward one, and in the original seat mounting bracket. They never used those two provisions that were there. They may have thought they needed them. That's what we want to know. Why are they there?
A few weeks ago, before I came out, Mark got a hold of me and he sent me some pictures of this Challenger convertible he was working on, and it had double brackets on it for mounting the bottom part of the rear seat, and also had an extension welded on for relocating the rear outer seat belts on this Challenger convertible. The more research I did and hands-on looking at it, I still don't think I 100% have a grasp of what exactly they were trying to do with it, because it just doesn't make sense with anything that you could try to apply logic to.
Well, the fact that the Challenger is a 2-inch longer wheelbase, 2-inch longer car than the CUDA is in the e-bodies.
And it's in that section,
It's made
right?
in the rear footwell. If I took a CUDA rear footwell and a Challenger, you're going to see right about a 2-inch difference,
Right.
and that's how they carried it all the way through the car. And so we're looking at things that happened that are about 2 inches difference, and so we're going along with it. The Dodge Challenger has a 2-inch longer wheelbase than the Barracuda does, and they get that 2 inches right there in that rear stepwell, right in that stepwell. Your common sense would say, that must be why they felt they needed to put the hook forward, right? Here's the thing. First off, if you look carefully, you see the extension piece that was put on the seatbelt anchoring?
Right, it's got the booger weld on it.
Got the boogered up weld,
right.
kind of like a torque box. It definitely wasn't done in the assembly line.
Done on the assembly line, but not spot welded on when the
Right.
floor pans were made. This was an afterthought, like the torque boxes were put on after. You know, I've come across other oddities or something that's might seem like a mistake, and usually after a period of time thinking about it and getting to it, you may not agree with the logic behind it, but at least you could figure it out and see why it was done.
So if you take and you measure from the back hole to the front hole, the added on hole, it's 2 inches exactly, as a matter of fact.
And
Okay.
same thing with those clips.
The hooks that mount to the floor, the dual hooks that are
Right.
here. So it tells you that something about a convertible needed a provision in there to be able to move everything 2 inches forward.
Everything, the rear seat.
Here's the problem with that philosophy. Yeah, the Challenger's longer than the Barracuda. Tony and I went out back and we looked at all of the convertibles we had, which I think were 3 Barracudas and 2 Challengers. Every one of the Challengers have the extra provision at the front of the under seat pan and the extended piece for the side anchoring. However, every one of those cars left the assembly line with the bolt hole utilized in the original stock position, not the forward one, and in the original seat mounting bracket. They never used those two provisions that were there.
Going by this, showed that the rear seat bottom needed to come forward 2 inches.
That's right.
On this e-body convertibles, we start thinking. That's how it started off. And then you went
Right.
and checked the CUDA convertible.
So it brings us back over to this. Okay, let's say it's a Challenger only. We did make sense out of it being 2 inches further away from the front of the car. Who knows? But as we lay out the seats, we don't see the evidence in the difference between a hardtop seat back,
Front to back.
front to back.
Front to back, right.
Front
Left to
back.
right, yes, but
right.
front to back. Yeah.
Which is where you'd need this provision.
I just can't get a handle on this here. I can't connect the dots on this and figure out why it was done. But even so, let me jump in, because if the difference in the 2 inches for the Challenger to CUDA is there, why are they making the modification here? So the additions were never used, and we initially thought the reason for this had something to do with the Challenger wheelbase being 2 inches longer, which is all made up in the foot section, the floor pan, the well, in front of where the rear seats go. But we figured there might have been something along with that, but there's not, because the seats are the same from CUDA to Challenger. They're just different from convertible to hardtop. The CUDA convertibles don't have this. We've checked a couple here. So it's only on Challengers, and we still don't know why.
All of it supports that they thought, that some genius thought everything needed to be moved forward. And we are looking at one right now that they've moved things forward, they put provisions there, but was never even needed.
Nope.
And if a modification was needed, it would have been that way.
It was supposed to go the other way.
So here's where the problem lies. The under seat pan is the same on a Barracuda and a Challenger. The measurement from the back vertical edge of the under seat pan to the seat mounting area is the same on a Challenger and a Barracuda because they use the same seat frame. The extension is ahead of where the seat mounts. You see what I'm saying? Why would you need to move it forward to compensate for the 2-inch length when the measurement is identical, the same frame, the same under seat pan, everything is the same? I want to know why.
I really feel it's an engineering mistake. So I think on the drawing board that they said, okay, a convertible, we're gonna have to move the rear seat bottom forward more, was wrong.
They didn't think about where it was going to be needed to be moved forward.
But they only did it on the Challengers, not the Cudas.
But it's the 2 inches that makes the Challenger longer than that. That's what kept throwing us off on the thinking.
Out of all the cars I've looked at over the past 10 years at Graveyard Cars, this one here has got me. I don't have an answer. We've always been able to come with some kind of answer and figure out why. I don't know why this was done.
So there's our unsolved mystery. If you at home happen to have either worked on the assembly line, know somebody that worked on it, have copies of the original engineering plans that show these, or a technical service bulletin, something that addresses it, we would love to see it. Send us an email, talk to us on social media, tell us what you know. Hello ghouls, Mark Worman here, the Ice Tray from Graveyard Cars. If you enjoyed this video, be sure to like it, drop a comment down below, and subscribe to our channel. We have fantastic stuff coming up, and some of it you've never seen before. I gotta go insult people. Hey Alice!